Well, let's speak live now to former candidate for the European Parliament in Finland, Armando Mima. Mr. Mima, you're most welcome. Russian officials allege NATO's European countries are preparing for war with Russia as EU officials are calling for a freeze in the Ukraine conflict. Some would call that mixed signals from Europe. How do you see it?
Yes, there are a few signals that Europe is actually preparing for war. One of these is the Ministry of Health of UK, France, Germany, and Italy. They have urged their hospitals to be ready by next year to increase the capacity to have beds in the hospital between 250 to 300. So this is one very, very alarming signal that the Ministry of Health of these countries, they are telling the hospitals, you need to increase the capacity for possible, having more patients than usual in a different scenario. So this is one thing. The second thing, we have a document from the EU Commission and EU President Ursula von der Leyen. They are working on a project of plus 6,000 billion euro. They want to invest this money into the military industry. So this is a very clear signal that Europe, maybe not now, maybe not this year, but certainly is preparing for war against Russia. The last time Europe invested so much money in weapons, it didn't end up really well during Second World War. So these are two main big signals from my point of view that the Ministry of Health of these countries that they are preparing, and second thing, they are investing in weapons, very lethal weapons. So this should be concerning to all European citizens, that why our leaders are investing so much when there is not a threat from Russia. Russia does not want to attack Europe, but our leaders are investing so much in weapons. They want to build a wall of drones, how they call it, or they want to invest in more missile systems, all sort of weapons that one can imagine in the modern warfare. So this is frankly unnecessary.
Yeah, very interesting point. We have the same SVR report stating that Kiev is taking steps that could worsen tension, showing little regard for the Trump administration's proposed desire to end the conflict. Has Vladimir Zelensky, sir, effectively given up on securing US support, or is there another strategy at play here?
So Zelensky is trying to convince the Trump administration to provide the Tomahawk missiles. He recently stated that the more Ukraine missiles, the biggest, the long-range missiles are, then the better Russia is willing to negotiate. So Zelensky said that according to him, Tomahawks are the key for peace negotiations, which is the total opposite, because for every bullet that Ukraine is going to shoot, Russia is going to shoot other 20 in exchange. So what I've understood so far is that the more we increase the military support for Ukraine, the more Russia fires back with more responses. So it's not a very clever strategy to ask for more weapons when you know that they're gonna be a bigger response each time you increase the military support. So probably Zelensky should keep this in mind, that increasing military support does not bring to peace, and peace is not built with more weapons and bombs. I think it should start with language, because also the rhetoric here is, I've heard leaders in EU saying that we should force Russia to negotiation, but is the total opposite. Russia is winning the war. Russia is forcing Ukraine to sit at the negotiation table, because it unfortunately for us Europeans, it seems that the only language we understand in the West is the language of force. We could settle this conflict as adult person will do. We will sit at the negotiation table and discuss the essential points of this conflict, which is one of the biggest one is the NATO enlargement. And still the media in Europe does not talk about this big issue that security should be built together. What is happening is Europe is trying now to get out from the security built with America. They're trying to build their own army, and they're telling the neighbors how security should be built.
Okay.
Some years back, countries will work together and sit down and talk and say how we're going to build security together. So this should be the starting point, that we cannot build security by ourselves and then trying to impose it on our neighbors. It doesn't work like that. You're gonna sit down and discuss what are the key issues, and NATO enlargement is the biggest issue here.
Well, really pertinent points you raised today, sir. Thank you for doing it on RT. Member of Finland's National Conservative Freedom Alliance Party, Armando Mima. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you.